gaat have a go. But I don't think I would live with myself if some fucking Love Islander or something see me, you know what I mean? I just haven't got what you've got, like I haven't got it.
Could have sparred a couple of us for that programme now.
Could have got us in it.
He said you got to take your top off.
Yeah, that's what it was, I had to be topless.
Boxers topless? Well, yeah, I'm busy that time.
Today's episode is brought to you by That Prize Guy. You can visit the website at thatprizeguy.co.uk for all the offers.
Apart from Evander Holyfield getting his ear bit by Mike Tyson, I've never seen anyone rip their ear, ever in a fight, and my ear's hanging off. I thought, right,
Just me shit.
Why me type of thing,
Would you get in with Jake Paul now then? No, but would you?
Would I? I would fight Tyson Fury and Nike Joshua on that road right there now for £5 million. So if I was getting off of that for Jake Paul in a boxing match, I'd do it with one hand. I'd get in with one hand. Welcome to the Smith Brothers podcast. Welcome to the Smith Brothers podcast. Today we've got one of Liverpool's best actors and one of the country's best actors, James Nelson-Joyce. We're happy that he's joining us. He's an old friend of ours, and I'm sure you've been for a good treat here. Listen to this.
What year was you born?
Plays the boss
What's
part.
that?
Year was you born?
89. I'm in between Callum and Lee.
Working out, which one, yeah?
But the fun, yeah, I'll say it, the first time I ever met Beefy, it was, remember when the lower school was on Rice Lane?
Yeah.
So we were all on the back of the bus. And like, I'd only just started, I was in year 7, remember we used to throw the Frozies out of the top window. So I'm like that on the back of the bus, throwing the Frozies. And I think one of your mates was sat there. And then this lad goes, mate, that seat's safe. And I went, shut up, lad. and he went, no lads, someone's sitting there. And I went, shut up. Because, you know, he's starting at school and all that. And then my mate Del just goes, Joycey, that's Beefy. And I just went, yeah, all right, have the seat, mate.
My dad went to upper school and lower school. I'd just gone to upper school. And I was getting the bus down towards, obviously, County, Cater, where we lived. And I was on the bus, like the lower school bus stop. It stops there and obviously everyone's getting on. And looks off, everyone's going, fight, everyone's running the window. So I looks off the side and just sees two kids fighting. But one has a green St. John's uniform on and he's rolling, going bang, bang, rolling. And goes, oh, it's our beef.
On the one-day visit.
The one-day visit to school with the year 6 come up.
Yeah. You know, the funniest part about all this, James was only a year younger than Liam.
It was mad at school though, weren't it?
He shit himself here because you pushed him out of his seat on the bus.
It weren't Liam though, it was one of his mates.
Like our fame lock up here, that's my spot.
That's my spot.
That's his favourite film, by the way.
Lock Up.
Lock Up with Stallone in the old
That's
jail.
my spot.
You met Stallone, haven't you?
Yeah.
Sly.
Yeah. Sly wins this one.
He does calls him by first names of like Sly.
No, honestly, I was amazed at meeting him. It was in it when I was on the Contender. He was one of the hosts, obviously, weren't he, Stallone? But the year I was on it, he was filming Rambo, and weren't on it, so I was gutted I missed him. But I got to meet him at a premiere in London, and just I asked him for the picture, and just shook his hands, fucking big hands like shovels. But great meeting him, like, but I never had more than literally a conversation with him. But he was something else. He was proper, like, it sounds daft and cheesy, he was proper important to us growing up, weren't he, in our house. We had him on all the time, everything we had on. I laugh with the kids now, I laugh at our Paul now and say about our generation, this generation. Like, our heroes as kids growing up were all like action heroes who could, like, the underdog makes it in the end. And like we had like loads of weird daft films and like we used to watch every single martial arts film we'd watch, wouldn't we?
Bloodsport.
Van Damme and Seagal and Bloodsport, Kickbox, all them ones, we'd watch them all the time. But Stallone, constantly Stallone, Rambo's, Rocky, Paradise Alley, Lock Up. Over the top. I must watch that. I watch Over the Top as many times as he watches probably Lock Up a year. It's just one of them films.
What got you into acting? What did you
I got
like?
kicked out of Archie's, didn't I? Yeah. And then do you remember Miss Griffith?
Yeah, you said that didn't you
Yeah, I
before?
went on your Wikipedia before to see what year you were born, so say I'm sure it's the year above me. And then it said Miss Griffith's got you into...
What year did you get launched?
It was when you go from senior into sixth form, isn't it? But it was our first year, I think, where you had to do it or something like that. They just said they didn't want me back, and I was like, oh, I was just going to go on the town with my half fella or something. And then she was like, I think you should be an actor. And then I went to the community
Had you
college.
done any like drama in school or not? Nothing, just...
You killed my question here, by the way, 'cause one of my questions was half about this.
I just
When you
literally,
realised that.
I didn't do me paperwork. She just said like 4 people from the year get to do this like, monologue, and she picked me, and it was just, I was dead lucky. It was just about a kid growing up and his dog dying. So I'll do this monologue to this album, and I've done it. And then in the monologue I come home from school and the dog's bowl and it's ball and it's lead and all that's still in the room. And so I've done it, and then she was crying when I finished it, and I was like, "You're all right?" And she went, "It's dead touching that my dog died 2 years ago and I still can't get rid of the dog's bed and all that." So I was like, "Oh," I gave her a hug, thought nothing of it. And then we were just messing about in the corridor one day, and Miss Lally, do you remember?
Yeah, she's my 40. I mean, English teacher.
She dragged me in the room, she was like, "Joyce, come in here," and I went, "What?" I went, "Miss, I'm on my way to class," or whatever it was. She just went, "Yeah, that's the mark you got," and it was like a really good mark in the Northwest sort of thing. So, and then I didn't think anything of it. And then I went to the community college. You know, 16-year-old lad, there's birds everywhere, and I just thought, "Oh, I'll come here then." And that was it. Just,
Silly question, but do you think she's seen something in you?
I think it was from that
She
monologue,
must have,
I think it was just a bit of luck, innit? Right place, right time.
So then that answers the next question for me, whether it's nature or nurture. Do you think because you've worked at it, you're a better actor, or do you think you had a natural bit of talent anyway without realising it?
I don't know, like, we've all got a point to prove, haven't we, do you know what I mean? Like, and I just thought, because I didn't go to London until I was 21, so like 16 to 21, I just thought, so I want to earn money, do you know what I mean? And this is the way, hopefully I can do it.
Because it's not an industry where everyone gets into, the same as boxing. And I always wonder that you see the great fighters, would Messi have been great at boxing if he tried boxing?
would he be
great at tennis?
No,
or was he
you've got to have
just
something in
suited
that
for
sense.
football? The same as some people who would have just been good at whatever they put their mind to.
I think for me, I got, like, it was a lot of luck along, like if I hadn't met Stephen Graham, you know, it's little things like that along the way, isn't it?
Right place,
What
right
did
time.
it
That's
like the
everything.
part you played in films, though, meeting him, do you think? Or do you think?
Like, so...
Not films like 6 series and whatnot.
I just thought films were like, as you say, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, you know, like De Niro, all these. I didn't see it as relatable. And then I remember I saw Stephen in The Street. Did you ever watch that?
No.
Like a Jimmy McGovern drama, it's unbelievable.
He's brilliant, mate, Stephen.
And he plays an alcoholic. Looking for an alcoholic, trying to meet his son. And he's going on at the bar and he's going, my son's going to be a world champion boxer, he's going to be a footballer, blah, blah, blah. And he's an alcoholic and all that. He never met his son in his life. And then he meets his son and he's struggling with it. And you hear a Scouse accent doing this amazing drama, and then you go, okay. And then you do your research, you go and watch This Is England, and you do all that. And it was him that inspired me. And then he kind of like, as he does with everyone, you met him, do you know what I mean? He just looks after everyone, doesn't he?
He's unbelievable.
Yeah, he plays unbelievable.
Talented.
He is
I remember watching Snatch and thinking he was a Cockney at the time because of the accent in it, and then watching it back and you see, but he's done unbelievable. Same with Jimmy McGovern. Jimmy McGovern's...
I do think that what you're saying there is in like, more like say, turn it to boxing, but is in like when you're a kid and you used to always read the boxing news and then the fighters on the front were all like Americans, Mexicans with all the belts and all, and you think, well, they're the people who win them, do you know what I mean? And it helped me a lot when he won his world title. You think, well, if he scouts can do it, so we can do that type of stuff.
But
you
it
know,
is
you
that
see
though, isn't it?
the scouts in the film, you probably think it's all like the Stallones and all that, and you think, I'll never get there, do you know what I mean? Whereas when someone relatable does it, you think, well, it's reachable, if that makes sense. Like,
I see that all the time about gyms. You see these young kids now in amateur gyms in our sport especially, but probably the same with football. Young lads growing up in this city seeing Steven Gerrard do what he's done. I can do that as well. You're a young lad and you're watching young Scouse actors coming through now. They're going to be queuing up at the doors of these acting classes, or they're going to be looking for agents and going to be trying their hands at it and having a go at it. And obviously if you see someone like you do it, you can do it.
see like yourself, Stephen Graham, and think, well, I can end up there, do you know what I mean? Whereas years ago, you'd probably say you'd just seen it was all just in America.
And it all starts from Stu Schofield. Like, do you know what Stu Schofield is? He's like a mate. Yeah, so it's his half fella. That's his half fella. And he was like the one who inspired Stephen. Yeah. And he lived on the same road as Stephen. So it's all down to Drew.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously
it's a bit more because you're that local as well. It's a bit more when your Scouts are just, but because you're like proper local, you know what I mean, from where we're from. It's a bit, yeah, do you know what I mean? It's round the corner from us.
You're probably doing yourself a disservice saying about luck, because it's a lot more talent than luck and hard work than luck. But I do agree with what you're saying, and especially now, you need a bit of luck along the way. There's better fighters.
I'm a believer in that. I think you need big luck in life, and I say to a lot of fighters when they're fighting, good luck, God bless, and they go like, nah, that, like skill and all, I don't need luck and that. And I just look at them and go, if that's what you believe, fair enough. But believe you me, mate, you need luck in every sport, especially. I think like you're walking in the ring, you trip over it, your ankle, you can't perform. That's bad luck, really, isn't it? Know what I mean? So you do need luck in everything.
And I think you need a chip on your shoulder as well.
You've got to have that arrogance when you're performing.
Who watched it the other day? I read over that like everyone who's like good at something has got to have that bit of delusion.
Yeah. Oh, you got to be delusional.
You've got to be delusional in your own belief.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Don't believe it.
Might have been Jake Paul, you know. Might have been Jake Paul.
I don't know.
That's what they're saying about him. He's the most deluded fella ever. He thinks he's going to beat Anthony Joshua, and I bet you deep down, I don't think he does. But he's probably kidding the world that he will. And when he gets in it, he might believe that he can, because it's a massive ask. But you've got to be deluded. You've got to be borderline arrogant when you're competing. Again, like, not to get into, but when you retire. Like I am, Stephen is, when you retire, that's the hard part. You've got this arrogance, you've got this confidence, you've got this aggression bottled up, and there's nowhere for it to go. And then all of a sudden it just doesn't go anywhere, and you're not the fighter no more, so what do you become?
Yeah, it's your identity, isn't it? It's half your identity.
Yeah. You now, again, this is a question I wanted to ask you. You see so many method actors, there's stories about Heath Ledger and everything else. You're playing a gangster, you're playing an hard case, sort of quietly. Has it changed your demeanour recently and how you are, and you're not sort of as happy as you used to be while you're filming this role at the minute because you're filming again?
Do you live the part?
No, I don't know. I don't live the part.
He looks like a gangster now in the autograph gear, doesn't he?
It's still money.
That's the first thing you said, when I was home, said, oh yeah, doing the podcast, and the first thing Kim said is, ask him what the M&S deal, that's massive, that, by the way. So that's what, yeah, the autograph.
So come on then, how's the M&S deal?
Yeah, it's fucking great. No, but the thing with the acting, like, look, you come across method actors and all that. I think it's a load of wank, because there's no way you can sit here now and forget that these cameras aren't there, or that mic, it's a bit wanky. But on the other side of it, say you've been doing a scene all day where, like, I don't know, your ma's dying, or, something heavy. It is hard not to take it home, do you know what I mean? So it swings and roundabouts, or if you've got a scene where you've got to have it with someone, you can't fake it.
Do you know what? Very, very similar in a way, even though it's miles apart. It's similar in terms of, I use Callum as the best example. People meet Callum and go, wow, he doesn't speak, he's quiet as in. How's he that same lad to see it on telly, knocking people out and all that? And it's a different sort of switch with fighters when they get in the ring, and you've got to turn it on. You've got to be, like, you've got to have that anger a bit about you, where you've got to go and try and this person's trying to take food off your table type of thing. You've got to go about them and set about them, where you've got to have the mentality like you want to hurt them, whereas day-to-day life, I think the four of us, to be honest with you, we're not that, well, probably beefy aside, we're not that
what
person.
Paul just said then about like the character thing, now when you read, do you like playing the type that you play in terms of similar character all the time, or would...
Well, when I first started out,
you gonna start doing rom-coms and that?
Well, no, it was just...
There's another answer to that question. Are you limited
I love a rom-com, by the way.
The accent?
Yeah, well, at the beginning, yeah, like it was just, drug dealer 1 or handbag snatcher number 2, and it was just stuff like that. And then I remember, it was Stephen, when I was on Little Boy Blue, he said, have you auditioned for this, have you auditioned for that? And I went, nah. And he went, shit that lad. And I went, yeah. And he went, what have you done before this? And I went, I was in Mount Pleasant. And he went, Mount Pleasant? That's fucking shit. And I was like, Stephen, I'm not you, Scorsese doesn't call me. And he was like, so he got me on the phone to his agent, who now represents me. And we had a meeting, it was great. And then you'd have a thing called a showreel, which is like all, your scenes and that. So I sent her it, and she got back about 2 weeks later, and she was like, I was really underwhelmed by your showreel. She was like, I met this lad who, can crack a joke, he's a nice lad, all this. But on screen, all I can see you playing is like drug dealers and that. Yeah. And I said, I can't turn that work down because it pays me rent. I was living in London at the time. I said, when it's meeting people and all that, and she just went, we're going to have to knock them back. And I was like, okay, well, if you believe you can get me those other roles, then great. Because I'd never really been seen for anything other than that. And then I got a play in the West End, and it was like a gay play. It was just me and another actor on stage. And I was like,
You kiss him.
yeah, that's it.
That's why I couldn't do that. I always know what though. No,
I stood in the G-bar about 5 times, baby.
No,
Was
listen.
happy for
No,
nothing.
I always think
Oh, we're
about
full on neck, like.
just the way. No, I even mean like just normal like sex scenes. Like, you know what I mean? I thought, well, how do they do that? Obviously, the married and whatnot. I think, how do you do that? Or like,
Oh, beef, I had to get fully naked on stage, everything, for the last 5 minutes of the play.
Jennifer Lopez's films. How'd you stand there kissing Jennifer Lopez without getting hard on? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I would be
think,
fucked there. This agent, is she taking anyone on or?
She loves scouting.
We'll get a number off you in a bit.
Speaking of roles, you played the boxing role, didn't you?
In The Sound of Philadelphia. Oh, 1,000 blows.
1,000 blows,
Twice,
yeah. That's what, yeah.
Twice, yeah.
Isn't it on? Sorry, because at the start of this, how did the Rotunda come about?
So I went there as a kid.
Okay.
And then I just haven't got what you've got. Like, I haven't got it. Like, I just think.
Could have sparred a couple of us for that programme now.
So I'll get a bit of...
Could have got us in it.
I asked, did you want to be in it? I did say to Paul, do you want to be in it?
Did he say?
You said at the time, I'm in too many.
Did he say you got to take your top off?
Yeah, that's what it was. I had to be topless. And
Boxers topless? Right, yeah, I'm busy that time, mate.
But like, for me, and like most actors, I think, like you see Jack McMullen and all that, we're all like mad on boxing because I think you have got a totally different mentality to most people. And I think before you get to know boxers, you think, you know, they're all mad and they're all dead hard and that, but you're all gentlemen, and I can honestly say that, you know, like he's 4 different personalities.
most are, you know, James.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not
I
just
think
saying.
that's Jim's really in it, that's where I think I'd love, as I say, I haven't got a little lad, but I've seen it now with Frankie and Leon, little Paul, but I get asked it now for the people, I'd love my kid to go to the gym, but I don't want him to box.
I remember you saying that about Paul, though.
Yeah. I was like that.
So hard.
James called me over Paul to read an audition for Little Boy Blue, and they ended up going with a good kid, Sonny in it, but we got to speak over that, and I used to talk to him at the time when I was filming on the little bit with him that I did, and
How was you in it?
we were talking every day. Yeah, I was in Little Boy Blue. I played the father of the killer. It was great. It was good. I'll show you the highlight reel later. We were talking about it, and I was saying, like, I don't want him to fight, don't want him to box. But I knew he was obsessed with it, I knew he loved it. But then I thought, I want him to go through everything we went through. Discipline, fitness, manners, respect, being in a gym surrounded by good role models all the time and having people to look up to. And as you said before, you watch your mate doing it, or you watch someone like you doing it, you think you can do it, then you know you can do it, should I say. And obviously following us, it's been tough for him, and it will be for little Frankie, as he'll find out later on. But I wanted him to go through everything, even if he didn't fight. And now he's fighting, and he's good at it, and he's won a national title, and he's doing really well. But I would be stupid to not let him go through what we all went through as young
But
men.
if you go back on that, we met, especially us, we met some of the best people we know through boxing and
That's what I was going to
gyms.
say then, like the stage I'm
I've
at
met
now.
some of the best people in the gym.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen our day crowd in the gym,
mad.
you do the circuits in the gym, don't you? You don't, all them people in the day crowd, you
Stretches out wide, though, doesn't it? As I say, like all this Manx and Scousers hating each other, it's football. Some of the best, closest mates we've got in boxing, Manx. Ricky, just gone. Crawley, like good lads who we've been friends with, because they're quite similar to us, but it's just that football divide, whereas the boxing, it's more united in it and more together.
That stage now where I'm at with Frankie, where he's got his another skills next week, and then the week after he's got his first proper fight, but he's had 2 skills at the minute, and his first skills went, and like, we're all there, he boxed really well, done brilliant, I was so proud of him. But I got in the car on the way home with Jade, and I goes, it was like a win-win, lose-lose tonight for me, do you know what I mean? And she was like, what do you mean? I said, I had to see my son perform and just see how happy he was, and everyone all saying how brilliant he's done. But that's it, he's now a boxer. I'm going to have to watch him fight. Yeah. Or he didn't do good. I see my son get knocked about the ring a little bit, which I never want to see break my heart, but at least then he won't be boxing. Because I was thinking, I don't want him to fight, but then when I sit back and think, but I think, how can I not want him to get all the things we've got in life? Everything we've got in our life.
That goes back to what you spoke about before, though, as well. Because I was in that position, and what you said before, is it either in you or is it not in you, or what? If it was more than just what you wanted to do and what you put your mind to, I'd have played footy rather than boxed.
You'd be surprised who it's in though and who it isn't in. And I've got a story about when I won the ABAs, 2002, quarterfinals, national quarterfinals in the Olympia up on Derby Road, and this kid walked in, with a pair of jeans on, a leather bomber jacket and a ponytail down to the top of his ass. I looked at him and thought, oh, I'm gonna have a field day with you. I was stopping all kinds of kids just turned senior. I was confident, and I had the hardest fight probably had in the whole, well, it was the hardest fight in the whole championships. And I proper judged him when he walked in by how he looked. And I never did it again, and I shouldn't have done it anyway. But I looked at him and thought, oh, I'm going to enjoy this. I had a war with him. He was some fighter, and he's a lovely lad, and I got to know him and got to meet him and spar him loads later. He's a dead nice lad, and he ended up winning British Commonwealth titles at pro, didn't he, as well? Proper nice lad. I looked at him, and I remember just thinking, like, you wouldn't think he could fight the way he did. And Ban Rodriguez fighting this weekend, what's he like? He's a unified world champion, Ban Rodriguez. He's about 5'5".
You know Selkirk as well. So Joe Selkirk. With Selkirk, so the kids on about Selkirk, a couple of years after, he turned pro. Sam Webb was still amateur. And they come in to Stephen, Selkirk and Bellew was still in the ABAs. They done like a draw the morning, Selkirk's eating. They come down and say, right, you got blah blah Stephen. Joe, you've got Sam Webb. He's put a knife and fork down.
Just
knew he was in a fight, just knew he having a war. Selkirk beat him, but again in a boss fight. He was just...
You don't judge it. But again, brings me to the next question. So whether it might be in you or not, you've done the training, you love the training. Would you have a white collar, or would you have one of these Misfits fights, or would you have one if the money was right, or charity was right? No, I'm just curious because I have got a manager's license.
No, yeah, I'd have a go. But I don't think I would live with myself if some fucking Love Islander or something shimmies, you know what I mean?
Well, right, that's where you've got to, like I say, Joey Essex, you've got to give him loads of respect for that the other day.
Yeah. Joey Essex on his fight, did you see it?
Yeah.
I was watching Joey Essex walk to the ring, I was thinking, I hope this kid gets absolutely flattened now for sort of thinking that he can walk in and take the piss in a sport that's a hard sport. By one round, I'm screaming at the telly, go on lads, and I'm right behind him. And I had a tweet written out before I went in the garden, and I was just going to write, it's come to something, Joey Essex has just showed more balls than Daniel Dubois. Yeah. And the argument is, stop me when I'm wrong, stop me when I'm lying. Now, and I was going to write it and put it on Twitter, and I just couldn't be asked. It was after 10.
No, but I just think
but he showed some balls in me.
So for him, the reputation he's got, he earns money. He doesn't have to go in the ring to earn money. He earns money through TV. And I just think you opened yourself up there for
ridicule.
A load of like and
in some shape as well, by the way.
And he always is. The kid he fought against the Portuguese kid, he's quite big over there, but he's not known over here. So he would have had that like pressure on his shoulders, thinking I'm going to get beat by someone no one knows and all that. Yeah, so there was pressure on him over here because the kid's a big name in his own country.
He's done great.
Two of them showed pal, didn't he?
That's it. He was watching it at the end of it. I was on my feet, like clapping in the living room. The kids are going to sit down.
There's a load of footballers. They just had one, haven't they?
Yeah.
White collar one.
Jody Morris won it.
Jody Morris of Lee Trundle. They're doing one Liverpool. I don't know, I'm letting the cat out the bag, but
they're going to be, yeah.
One of the lads who I know is being matched with Phil Bardsley. We know Bardsley as well, yeah. So he rang me the other day, asked me to will it
I think what you mean now.
So but Bradley's having a go of it. Bradley's fighting on it. Yeah, Bradley
said we're going to do another one. Like we'll have a go. Bradley, yeah, of course, no worries. Didn't think nothing of it. Said he texted me the other day to fully list of all the opponents.
He sent me ass went.
Bradley obviously Premier League footballer, lovely lad. He's our good friends, and we had a charity show, and some years they'd auctioned the four of us off for sparring.
I watched it.
Yeah. So Bradley ended up sparring me, and he always laughs and jokes about it. Liam,
yours was close. Yours
was you with
Carrie. This was at Ryan Lowe, but Ryan Lowe was getting a bit cheeky when he was bidding. He just put his arm up and just kept staring at Liam like this. So Liam just, as soon as the hammer comes down, Liam went, he's going to fucking pay for that. And he was literally in the ring with his knee up, watching the body shots when he was hysterical. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, I think a lot of footballers, I used to have a dream when I was a kid. Imagine walking out to Anfield, playing for Liverpool, scoring a goal, cop ends or something. I was shite at football. Footballers will watch boxing and think, I'd love to. And I know because I've spoke to enough of them to know proper footballers who are proper boxing fans. But it's the same, obviously, with us, and it's the same in your industry. Imagine starring in an Oscar-winning movie. Imagine being able to do that, to be on that level, and that's every walk of life sort of that dreams to be that. There's loads.
I think when you do something, you realise like the work that goes into it. You know what I mean? You can't just like do it overnight. No. And the one thing where, like, look, acting, some people do slip through the net and just get it overnight with a little bit of fame, or, you know, some footballers get a leg up with, you know, getting in the academies and all that, but with yous, it's not that. You know, it's the training, it's the making weight, it's the sparring, and then it's getting in the ring. Like, you can't kid no one in boxing. Really, you can't.
No, but do you know what the mad thing is about it? And it's us as fights, it's yourself in the acting industry and stuff, and the same way with anyone, any walk of life, you normalise it in your own head, and you don't realise how many people look at you in adulation and think, you know what, it's amazing doing what he does. And the same with us with footballers. I idolise Steven Gerrard. I think he's got the best, you know what I mean, he's the best in the world to me.
Just did a week, I
watched
marathon runners, and I said to Kim, who'd run marathons for like a living? And then Kim went like, who'd fight for a living? And I thought, when you look at it from the outside, you think, why would you want to do that? But when you do it, you do normalise in your own head. I think boxing's a normal thing.
When you're training for a fight. I can't quit in this spar because you don't quit anyway, but I cannot give up in this because otherwise I lose the fight. When you're running for the fight, I can't stop on the run because the fight won't happen. Yeah. When you're doing this, it's for the fight. You're doing a marathon, what's the goal? All these marathon runners talk about hitting a wall. Yeah. The first wall I hit, I'm packing in, I'm done. I'm not going through that. There's no, I'm like, honestly, I'm telling you, like Sandy Lyle, I'm saying,
would you let your daughter box? Would you let your daughter?
I've said to my little girl, she's a gymnast, she does acrobatics, she does aerial, she's a little dancer, she's strong as anything. I laugh at her, I go, let's see your guns, and I keep trying to like drill it into her. You're so strong, you know, like, rather than you're lovely or you're gorgeous, or you're like, she is as well, but I keep saying, like, you're so strong, you know, Gray, like, you're really strong, like, keep that up and keep doing your work. And she does handstands. I say, you should come to the gym and do a little bit of boxing, don't fight, no contact, but just learn how to do it. And it's probably this day and age where I think I wouldn't mind to be able to just be able to fight a little bit. I never ever wanted to use it. Never wanted to use it, but I'd like her to do the training because the training is the best.
Mine's probably nothing to do with even being a girl. I've got 2 boys. Yeah. I wouldn't want them to box. No, but it's saying that as in, I do think if you come to me and say, "Well, a little boy," I'd say put in a boxing gym. It's like the respect and it's brilliant. But I also know that it's so hard to get to the top, and if you don't get to the top, it's a hard way to make a living. So I wouldn't want. And the sacrifice, I wouldn't want them to go through that. So it's not so much just me daughter.
It's the bad side of soul for me.
The highs are so high, but the lows are heartbreaking. Like it's so bad.
It's hard. Mum always said for years, the one low isn't worth all the highs. The lows are low, like when you lose.
Sadly, it does. We're lucky having so many highs.
I seen a girl get cut against Katie Taylor at Manchester Arena, and like I say, it was horrendous. And just think, no, like a girl shouldn't be cut like that.
But can you imagine?
That's what boxing does for you.
So do you hide the nerves then in the change? You say calls
from each other, yeah.
So you don't let them know you're nervous at all.
You can't.
You can't. No, exactly.
If I'm standing in the corner in a fight and I look to my brother and he's like that, I'm gonna think, why is he that scared?
He's got no nails. He bites his nails. He's sitting like this. And my dad does it. My dad's sitting like that. And I think they're shitting himself here. I'm gonna get fucked.
I bite them anyway. I'm gonna nail him. But I get what you mean. It is hard. If you look and you think, why is he that worried? Then you're thinking there must be a reason, and or maybe he's better than what I'm giving him credit for and stuff like that.
So say little Paul comes to you and he goes, would you train me? Like when he turns over. Do you think you could split that? Yeah, you've got. Look, I've only been in the corner. I done one of Callum's fights because Callum got a last minute job before the Watsy fight type of thing to get the ring rush gone, and he was like, I'm not going to fly Buddy over for it. We do me corner. Like, of course. So we was fighting a fella. You know, he's lost a few fights, like 20 and 19 or something, wasn't he? But you know, 50-50 record, which is nothing to his level. But I had the 20 wins, he had 19 knockouts, so I'm thinking, he better not look past this fella here. And after the first time his brother's in the corner losing that. And I remember, like, I always say a prayer before the fight, keep him safe and that. But I thought in my own head, and please help me, give him the right advice. Help me, like, help him, know what I mean? I don't want to be a hindrance at all to him. I want to help him all I can. But I remember getting in with him and thinking, I didn't feel as nervous as I normally am before the fight because I had a job to do, because I wanted to make sure I help him and I'd see the right things to tell him and stuff. So it helped me a little bit. But I had a different level of nerves, the fact that I had to make sure, when we're watching that, I don't ever think, shout the right thing, or just go with what I go with. When we're watching fights, we're in the corner, because it was my job, I remember thinking, please tell him the right thing, don't like, tell him to like reach the body and then he gets chinned or something, know what I mean? I was thinking, make sure you do that.
I was like, after 3 rounds, Callum was blowing out of his ass.
I went sat around 3, 4, went, he's fucked now, keep it on him, and I'm thinking, so am I.
I always do the corners for them and help whoever the coach is. And it's the best thing in the world for me to do because it takes me mind off it. I've got a little job to do, even if it's drying the gloves, even if it's passing the water, rinsing the gum shield, I've got a job to do. And the thing with us, people say to me sometimes, I'm not blowing smoke up my own ass at all. Like, you speak sense on the telly, like, do you wonder why? If I start talking bollocks on the telly, what do you think these are going to say?
Yeah, they'll let you.
The first people closest to me are the biggest critics. So, and I don't mean that in a negative way, in a positive way. I can't stand on telly talking shite with an accent on and come back to these. They're like, they be texting me while it's happening. What are you doing? So we all see boxing in a similar way. I trust their opinion more than anything. So whenever I'm fighting, I'm looking for them for advice as well as obviously my coach. He does it more than anyone. He does it.
Callum's at the end of every round.
Callum ends of every round. You look over and he'll go like that to us, and we'll all. But I'm in the corner, so he'll ask me. Then he'll listen to Buddy implicitly, and then he'll look over. He'll stand up 10 seconds ago, and he'll look over to them too, and he'll lift his head up and like, what's happening? And they'll give the little bits of info.
It's more for like what you like, how you doing as well. Like if
and you know you're going to get an honest answer.
Exactly. You're
going to get an honest answer.
You win and know what I mean, or it's close type of thing, and that's all I'll ever really tell him. But he'll know we'll get honesty from us rather than like just, well done when he's getting beat.
But the difference in boxing and the difference in acting, what we find, and I think I can speak for them as well, the basics are the sport, and the better the basics, and the more you master the basics, and the better you are at the basics, makes you a better fighter. Is it similar in acting? Is it the best method for the best actors? All the best actors tend to do similar things.
Everyone's different, but I'd say the best people I've worked with haven't got an ego. And it's like, I've worked with some people and it's, I know best, I won't take direction. Yeah. And then the best ones, they're open and they're willing to listen to advice, you know, and, you know, even like a little thing, because the director knows the next shot's coming to Beefy, it'll just so they can pass that shot on, it's just a glance, do you know what I mean? And it makes the tiniest little things where sometimes you get so caught up in your words or where your storyline's going. So it's ego, like I think you have to just leave your ego, and there's no one better to learn from that than Stephen.
No, sometimes I was like boxing similar, like, do you ever watch any work back and like think it was shite?
I can't, no.
So I went to the thing with Daniel Radcliffe, and he said I can't believe how bad an actor I was in the early Harry Potter ones, and I started watching them now and think, wow, I was fucking terrible. Do you know what I mean? So like, do you ever watch it, like, not like him then, he watches
Ali
fights.
watches his own fight probably every day.
We never go to Liam's house, he's standing up, he doesn't sit down, stands up and watches his own fight.
The worst thing to watch is playback, like, so playback is like as we're recording now, while it's going in, and to watch it, and you're just thinking, you can't hear what you're saying, you haven't got cans on, you haven't got an interpretation of what the shots are going to be. And all you're really thinking is how do I look in that shot? It's a vanity thing. It's nothing to do with the performance.
Do you think you sound different when you hear yourself as well? Yeah. I can't watch an interview back.
I've always wondered though, again, with the acting, we can watch a fight of our own, can't we?
I hate sending a voice note to someone, I hate sound like that.
He loves a voice note, take no notice of him, Jay, honestly. We watch videos back of ourselves, or you can watch a fight of yours, you can watch a fight of yours fighting, and you use it to critique yourself and get better, you know what you've done wrong. Can't you do that in acting? Not really, because... Could you see the faults, you think?
It's not even just that, it's, you know, they say we were filming this conversation, as a scene, you'd probably shoot it like 20 odd times, 25 times. So it's like, you don't know what's getting used, and it could be sometimes your best performance, they can't use it because there's a booming shot.
There might have been a better one, but the director didn't like or something.
Yeah, so for me it's just like, that's done, on to the next. Like, just forget about it, because...
Suppose if the phone keeps going, then you must be doing well, mustn't it? If you keep getting the phone.
Unlucky, do you know what I mean?
No, speaking of your faults, how many losses have you watched back in your fights?
None.
You've never watched the loss back?
Oh, no. Why would I? Why would I watch myself getting fucked by Andre Ward? I've never watched the Ward fight. I might watch where he broke my nose and like that, that's about it, but why would I go and watch a fight with him?
Yeah. That's what he's saying, to learn from and improve.
None of us.
The Groves fight, I have little gobshites on Twitter sending me the knockout of the Groves fight, or the shot that catches me. I watched the shot the day after to think, the referee was spinning everywhere when I was looking at him, so it must have been a bad one. I watched it, I was like, it wasn't even that bad, it was me spinning, but it weren't that bad. But I don't watch them. I've never watched this with Selby. I've never watched any of theirs where they've lost fights.
I understand that. I understand it.
I just don't think there's any point in watching them.
And that's the mad thing, because as I've got to know you, like, I get nervous when you fight, but not nervous in the fact of, it's just nervous because you want them to do well, don't you? Yeah. You don't want them to get hurt and all that. And then, like, I remember I watched Stephen's fight. I remember with Dia, and I remember watching it, and I was watching it with my old flatmate, and he was just like. And I was like that, and I'm going, you know, you're living it, you're the brothers, your mum and dad, and like, that's another thing I want to talk about.
Me and Callum walked round, who's going to get in the ring. He wanted to carry on, I thought, the referee wanted to carry on, and me and Callum was getting in, saying, no, you're not carrying on with
all
that.
through the fight thinking this is going redder and redder, and I was just putting ice pack on the side of it, and then that round, the 7th or 8th, he just went bang and ripped.
Round 9 it was. So that's a mad thing. Obviously, you can't see your own ears, and you're in the ring, you're fighting. But every time I come back the corner, he was pressing an ice pack on me. I knew when round 2, bang, we banged heads, and I just knew it was going boom, boom, boom. I feel a heartbeat in my ear, thinking, I must be bad that, but didn't obviously know how bad. Kept sitting down, he was pressing that, and what I only realised on the night, badly, I can't hear him right here. So when he was pressing on it, I couldn't hear a word he was saying. So it was like half reading him, not being thinking, I had no fucking clue what he's saying here. But he's pressing on it, so I think it must be bad. Goes out and then bang again, round 9, he does it. I thought, oh, me here again. And the referee says time straight away, so I thought, oh, shit, I always look at my corner then. As I looked at my corner, he's standing there like that, and I thought, whoa, this must be bad. So I looked up at the screen. As I looked at the screen, I could see me ear hanging off, and I was like, oh.
Just me.
Why me type of thing, you know what I mean? Say about look, how lucky is that? Like I've watched fighting boxing my whole life. Apart from Evander Holyfield getting his ear bit by Mike Tyson, I've never seen anyone rip their ear ever in a fight, and my ear's hanging off. I thought, oh, so gets out of the ring. These are obviously with me. It's like getting the ambulance. I always remember funny story. Police walk over with a gun and goes, one in the ambulance. So right away he goes, why are you walking over here with a gun? Fucking hard case, fuck off, and I start arguing with the busy, I'm going beef.
Not like you,
just leave it, know what I mean? Just let me dad in and go, that type of thing. But my dad got in the ambulance, and that trip from the fight to the ambulance,
Bay, wasn't it?
Yeah, from the Mandalay Bay to the hospital, that was probably, probably no notice, that was probably the lowest point of my career in terms of just beating myself up, in terms of lying there, just crying, thinking like, how am I in an ambulance going to the hospital, me hanging off in a boxing fight? Like, I've never seen it. And it's just bad luck. So I was kicking myself thinking, why me? And I'm not one of them people who like feel sorry for himself, but I try my best not to be. But in that ambulance, I beat myself up bad, and I was just like, I'm done. I said, Dad, that's me, you know. And he was like, don't worry, son. My dad like to know where to look. And I was like, Dad, I give everything I've got. I train my hardest every day. And I'm in an ambulance with me hanging off, like I'm not doing it no more, that's me done. I retired in that ambulance, I actually ended up having 3 more fights after it and won the 3 of them, but in that ambulance I was done. And then, as you said, but watching back, I don't really watch fights back myself, I don't watch wins or loss, I'm not really one of them who watches myself, I don't like hearing my voice and that as well in the interview, but...
You are the worst for that.
After that, I got tweeted and sent that clip that many times. In the end, I was like, I'm gonna have to watch this fight, and I ended up watching the fight back and seeing it, and didn't think anything different to the night.
We're talking about highs and lows.
Hasn't sent me that.
I couldn't. I laugh and joke, and these call me Johnny Drama, and I was laughing with you saying any part and any of the things for me coming up. I would love to be an actor. I could not handle a rejection.
That's what you guaranteed. That's what you guaranteed.
How do you feel with the rejection? Because you probably get, what is it, 1 in 10 or 1 in 15,
that's what I was
1 in 20?
It's the chip on your shoulder, like. It's that thing of, you have to go, I'll fucking prove you wrong. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it happens all the time. You guaranteed rejection. You just go, all right, well, you'll fucking eat your words. And I remember
I would land rejection.
There was a job about 4 or 5 years ago. It was after time. My agent phoned me and she said, this audition's come through. She was like, blah, blah, blah. It was for, do you remember the Barry Burnett story? The guy who was touching the kids up, who was the footy coach? Yeah. So the script came through and I read it and I went, oh my God, this is amazing. And she sent that on the Wednesday night and the audition was on the Friday. And basically an actor that Jane had couldn't make the audition, so she just filled me his place. And I remember thinking, I was working in Argos the next day and I thought, fuck it, like I'm just going to learn these lines. It was 5 scenes, loads of dialogue. I thought, yeah, all right, sounds. So I got to the audition. My time was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm sat there. And then my mate Nico comes in. Nico's won a BAFTA, he's like a big actor and that. He's like, are you auditioning for this, Joyce? I said, yeah. He said, sounds. I said, what time's yours? He went 3:30. I said, all right. I said, well, I'm in next. And then this other kid came in, some posh kid who was a big actor. He walked in and then the casting director went, James, could you mind just letting Nico go in first? I was like, yes, no worries. Nico goes in. Then this other posh kid goes in. So then I realised I'm the last up. So as I'm walking in, gospel truth, the director, the writer and the producer fucked off out the room. And all I was left in there with was the writer, the reader. So I thought, all right. Look, I just fucking went for it. I walked out the room and I thought, I'll give good account to myself there. Anyway, my agent phoned me and she was like, it's down between you and this other kid. And I was like, oh, all right, well, I'm going to tell you something. I went, just to let you know, the director, the writer and the producer, they all left the room while I went in there. I said, and I've stayed up all night learning these lines. And I haven't even fucking slept. She went, all right, sound, well, hopefully it goes your way. So then Monday I get the phone call, she was like, look, they loved you, blah, 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 but because the producers and that haven't met you, it's not gone your way. And I went, Maddie, it was their decision. Anyway, time goes by, doesn't it? What have they done this year? Because of this city as ours, wanted me in the drama. I just gave them the fuck off. Yeah. You know what I mean? You treat people with respect, don't you? I'd stayed up all night when to me shift in Argos to pay me rent.
That's why I'm laughing at all this. Do you watch Entourage? These laugh like Johnny Drama. There's an episode in that and he's in reading for something, Johnny Drama, and then the actor who plays Superman at the time walks in, as Gina's kid, he's pretending not to have a panic attack. He goes like, it's fucking Superman. Yeah. And then he has a panic attack and run. Like, that would, if I'm sitting there auditioning for something, and someone like you walks in, I'm going to think, oh, I'm off, where's my coat? Like, you're not even trying it, are you? That's the acting thing. That's one of the biggest things, the rejection, and you're going to get knocked back.
Yeah, I've seen it when he won his, what was it, Oscar, and he's saying, oh, we growing up and all that, so you get to the audition, you always get down to the last two, and then you'd always lose it, and then there's always this one kid, he's always like, no, scared to say his name, he goes, Leo, Leonardo DiCaprio, so he'd always get down to the last two, and then this kid would always get it, so it was Leonardo DiCaprio, and I thought, that was bad, and you audition, and he walks in, you think,
it's the thing though, and it's the same with boxing when you lose, like, it's how you deal with that rejection without sounding cheesy, how you sort of bounce back, and that's where I think you can't say separates the men from the boys anymore, but I think that's what sort of separates the strong people from the ones who don't really make it, the perseverance and digging in and keep going.
I was on a conversation today about this, about thick skin and stuff, saying we've all come through amateur boxing backgrounds. You're obviously an amateur before you're a pro and stuff like that. And like, I'm not one of them people, every time I lose, say I got robbed, but the amount of bad decisions you get in boxing alone, you see it now in the pros. Like I was laughing saying about, I boxed a German kid in Germany twice, and not lying, saying like I punched him around the ring and lost the fight, and it's laughable sometimes, but I was joking over it today, saying with the amateurs, if you haven't got thick skin, you don't become a professional fighter, let alone get to any type of level.
It's not just that, it's
you've got to
that,
get through that. Them type of, if you spit your dummy out because a decision hasn't gone your way and you start going to all the judges, you know, walk off and all that, you're probably not going to get where you need to be anyway, so it's got to be the same in if you
but I think it's that in any walk of life, isn't it?
Of course.
Like, footy player gets injured.
Yeah.
It's I think anyone's successful, like even a businessman, do you know what I mean? They might have a bad investment.
Over if they get sold. Imagine if you love a club and you're at a club and all of a sudden they come in, they go, right, we've accepted a bid from blah blah, and you're like, oh,
I don't want to go.
You see your future at this club. That must be hard, mustn't it, for football?
Unless you're like a top standout player, though, a lot of people don't understand, and I've got a few mates who have done it on the verge of breaking through. No one yourself. Benitez and all that come in to Liverpool, bang, right out the door. Benitez come in with an all Spanish like a team, the fitness coach and all that. Just weren't having a kid we know, just bang right out the door. Never even got a contract there. And like, there's that many people. If anyone gets a new manager, like you're number one right back. I just like example say West Ham. West Ham got a new manager. He might not like yours. You right back.
That's the thing. We especially with you. You're at the mercy of the opinion of a casting director or a director. Yeah. We're at the mercy of the opinion of a judge who says you went around or you went around. Mm. And sometimes there's got to be a bit of negative sort of corruption, as in like, I'm not giving them the rounds anyway. It must happen somewhere. Or a lot of the time it's incompetence. And a lot of the people in boxing don't tend to know what they're looking at. And is it the same in yours? Do you ever leave? Sometimes they're like, how many stories you hear where that actor turned that film down, that actor turned that script down, or he turned that down, and it was a hit.
I think nowadays it's kind of similar to the boxing, but they look at the numbers on the social media. Do you know what I mean? They go, how many followers have they got? Oh, it's guaranteed to get that many watches. Which is you see the boxing now with the Misfits and all that.
That's the power now with social media and stuff, and it's the power. Like, if I take you now on a meeting to turn professional, they'll ask you, what have you won the amateurs? But fall on 1 year, then they'll say to you, how many tickets can you sell in Liverpool on your debut? Yeah. And if you say, go a few hundred, they'll say, right, there's your contract. Yeah. Because you're costing them no money, and then it's a roll of the dice, and then they can make you, like, they can try and see how you develop through your contract, and then they'll give you another one. Or, the free rolling, because you're not costing them money. Yeah. You're earning them money.
You're paying your own wage and your opponents.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. So you're doing a few hundred tickets, you cover your own wage, because you only just turn pro, you cover your opponent's wage and you're putting a little bit of money in their
Free
pocket.
it for them,
And that's just, again...
And then you've got kids in the gym who've come through the amateurs and all that, and, you know...
Can't sell a ticket, they're not as wanted, yeah.
And then it's not even you, it's like your mum and your dad, you know, washing your kit, getting you to the gyms, driving you around the country and all that. Like, I think you're, like, and I've said it to you all the time, how your ma and dad haven't got a sports personality award. I'm telling you the truth. They deserve it, don't they?
My dad wanted to get put out to stud, to be honest with you. He was offering his frozen
Well,
services.
have you got a goal where you want it, or you just basically just, you know, like, not winging it, that's like, but you know what I mean? You just like, see how it goes, or like, after when I turn pro, I want to be world champion.
The awards for me mean nothing. It's not like...
Because it's
an opinion again, yeah.
It's not even that for me, it's like, with you're the best super middleweight in the world. You've won that. No one can beat you. At that point, you beat the best. With acting, first of all, it's subjective. Secondly, it's collaborative. You know, you can't make that film without your cast, your crew, your director. It's not tennis or boxing.
Depends on the story.
It's not a singular sport, you know what I mean? We're all a team together.
Just say as well, you got the wrong brother there, that was him.
No, but you know what I mean, though, don't you? You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So what, have you got like an age you think you'll go till you want to do this by?
I can do it forever.
I know acting you can.
The beauty of acting is there's no real set
I know, of course,
ages
that's
that
what you said. You got
that's what
one,
I'm
you want
curious
to have a
about
good
as well.
go till you're 55 and then
I just want to tell good stories, you know. I do a job I love, I meet nice people and I travel the world doing it, and it keeps me out of trouble. Like, you know.
I've got a question for you. Especially with us going to the same school and stuff. At what age did you realise, like, I could do this for life? Like, I could be an actor, yeah.
Probably only about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
That recent?
Yeah, because financially, like, you know, I remember going to the BAFTAs. I had a film nominated for the BAFTAs. It was that year back in Phoenix, wasn't it? I was 3 rows behind back in Phoenix. I was up at 4 the next morning to open a gym. Do you know what I mean? For someone else to pay me rent. Like, I didn't realise it was like, I always thought I'd have to have a second
It's like
job.
boxing as well, like people see you fighting on the telly and think, oh, he must be earning massive money, and unless you're at the very top.
I remember turning pro. I was on £3,000 a fight for my first year off my contract, and it was decent money because other kids around here were getting 2 or 2.5 a round. And I had 2.5 a fight for a 4-round fight. I was having to borrow money to pay for the camp to get to Manchester and back to fight, then wait for your sponsorship to come in and you're all right. But like, you walk down the street in Liverpool as a young pro boxer, they all think you're a millionaire.
And I think that's what's good about it, is like being honest about it as well, because by the way, like, I remember like Little Boy Blue came out, and I'm working on, you know, at Argos, and people are going to me, are you that, especially because I was in London, and I was too embarrassed to say I was working at Argos, and I was going, no, that's my twin. Yeah. Don't know what I mean? But like, I think it's because other kids will be embarrassed, won't they? Or like boxers who, you know, if they're doing Uber or whatever, to be able to pay their gym fees, to be honest and say, look, we struggled.
That's the reason why I asked that. Obviously, we're similar background to ourselves with school and stuff, and where we always sort of, you know, stories about us, we ran home from school, we used to get the gloves on, we'd be boxing in the house, so you've got to be quite delusional to be, you know, successful, and we might have been delusional, but probably not now, because we all got a life out of it. But I always believed I'd be a boxer, and when I was going through senior school, I'd be sitting in class, and I was quite bright in school, and I tried my best at school, you know, to keep my mum happy really, because we were just boxing fixated. And a teacher in my school used to say, hey, sport will never pay your bills. And I just laugh and go, we'll see, you know what I mean? I knew in my head I was delusional that I will box and boxing will pay my bills.
But that's the same year as him, in the same school as him. What happened to him? That's what I was going to say to you when you mentioned, like, no, that year, we both had to leave for that same reason in school.
That was throughout my school, and my first year in sixth form, I got picked for the World Under-17s in Budapest. So I went in, I was doing A-level physics, A-level maths, A-level PE, and I said to him, sir, any chance I can have a bit of extra time for my coursework? And he went, I'm not having this. You've got to pick boxing or school. So I just went, all right. I went, all right. And I just walked away. So I just walked away, and he went, hey, I've just told you to pick. So I went, really? So I went, boxing, see you later, and got off. Now, I want to touch on something what you mentioned before about being delusional, and whether it be in terms of your acting or boxing or even football and stuff, you've got to have a degree of, you know, delusional, where the minute I won a national title at 12, in my head I was going to be a world champion boxer. It was always going to pay my bills and whatever else. I was going to be a boxer, and as delusional as I was, I had a good life and a good career, but I wasn't a world champion, and I still worked my ass off. I feel like I worked as hard as anyone in the gym. I gave it everything I had, but as you say, with little bits of luck and, you know, whether I was good enough on the night, I wasn't good enough on the night when it comes down to it. But I'm trying to say is you need a level of delusion, but you also need the skill set and the ability and whatever else, whereas they've gone on and won world titles, because on the night when it mattered, they went and done it. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. You do need a level of both, and it comes back to one of the opening lines in Paul said about nature over nature. You can be born with something, but without the hard work, you're never going to get it out of yourself. So you were saying about studying lines and stuff, and when you made more effort in one than another, if you like the scene or whatever like that, and you've obviously put the work in. You need to.
We were talking about it, weren't we? It's like, you need the luck, but you need the work ethic to go alongside it as well.
Good combination of
Because even if you work your ass off, you know, sometimes that door might not be open for you. Do you know what I mean?
The thing, though, you need to have the tools as well. I think now, you could be the best actor in the world, you've got a shit memory, you can't really remember many lines, you know what I mean? You've got to have a little bit of fortune. In fact, you want to be a basketballer, but you're 5'6", you're fucked. You know what I mean? It's like, you've got to have, obviously, the tools as well. Sorry, Steve.
What? Is that just the case of like people who when we get asked about people who like
Paul, to be a jockey.
People who like were good but never worked hard and shit like that.
We see it with football, don't we? We see it with football with the likes of Gaza and that. What are you saying there, you?
He's horrible, he mumbles it under his breath. He went, it's like if our Paul wants to be a jockey.
Imagine the 4 horse if I was a jockey. No, what I was saying also, like, there's a level of people in sport where, like they say about like Gaza, like an unbelievable talent, just wasted it, and I hear stories about actors who were like that, he would have got more old, Richard Harrison, people like that, if they weren't living the life they were living outside it. But that also makes them in that industry. You can, some of the best musicians and the best singers and rock stars of all time were addicts,
Troubled
lives outside of the job as well, and that helped them in succeed in that. But in sport, you've got to sort of live clean, and there's a lot of people who don't, and they don't tend to make it. But I think in acting, this is the question I want to ask you. Obviously, do you need to also have, we've said about the luck, you've also got to have the tools, haven't you? And it's hard work, memorising things.
And it's not just that, like I went to drama school with people, 100 million times better actors than me. But when it comes to them getting on stage or having a camera put in front of them, they just got nervous. And the nerves took over, and you see it in boxing.
Gym fighters, there's no saying a gym fighter, they can be unbelievable and sparring. Tell them right in the minute the lights come on and it matters. Not the same
I've heard
fighter.
stories about good world champions, hard men as well, needed sort of pushing the ring, but the minute they're there, they fight anyone, they fight 10 men, but getting them to the ring was tough. And I don't know about you, but I said this, and I used to say this to me lad, and I've said it a couple of times, like trying to like downplay a few things. I've sat in the dressing room a couple of times thinking, why the fuck did I listen to school? Or why did I concentrate on footy?
There's easier ways to make a living.
There's easier ways to make a fight. I'm going out in this arena now to fight a fucking monster, a killer, and I've got to go out and literally stand in front of him, touch gloves, and know he's going to give me his best. I'm going to give me my best. And that's what makes the sport, to be fair, that's what makes the sport unbelievable. The thought of doing that. I watch it now, retired, and I think, I'd give anything to do that again. I'd give anything to be able to stand in that ring and fight.
Would you get in with Jake Paul now then? Would you?
Would I? I would fight Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua on that road right there now for £5 million. So if I was getting off of that for Jake Paul in a boxing match, I'd do it with one hand. I'd get in with one hand. Whether I'd win or not's another thing, obviously, but I would fight anyone now for that amount of money because it's life-changing money. And I see people now, and there's a lot of hypocrites in boxing. Oh, I can't believe Anthony Joshua's took the Jake Paul fight. He's going to get 50 million quid minimum.
If he didn't, someone else would.
If he doesn't, someone else is going to do it. And Jake Paul, say what you like about him, he's got a professional license now. He's been doing well in the boxing, he's improved. He's not a boxer, obviously, but at the end of the day, the money and any fighter that's slagging him off now would bite the hands off Jake Paul to fight him for 5 minutes.
And also, most of the people that led him haven't got the bollocks to get in the ring themselves.
Exactly. And also, a big thing on that is everyone gave him stick, and the reason they gave him stick was he was fighting old people, he was fighting people that don't box, he was fighting like MMA fighters in boxing, and people past their best. He's saying, nah, now I'm going all right then. Former heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua, he's only 36, not past his, he's probably slightly past his peak in terms of his career, but he's still an hell of a fighter, and it's a big ask. And now he's still getting sticks, you know what I mean? That won't happen. You've got to give him his
credit. What we said before about Joey Essex, you know our attitude. If you come in and work your ass off into the sport, and you're not from our sport, mate, if you gain respect, you gain respect no matter what.
I took a lot of stick at the time over, but it was like just unnecessary. It was just the social media people who love to jump on the bandwagon, but it was when I slagged Logan Paul and KSI. But that was the one that they got, I think Eddie got involved in. They turned professional, got professional licenses. Because at first, the Misfits and that, the Misfits, the social media, the YouTubers, used to fight in their guards. Now, my point was, you know, I think it was a lot down to Eddie. Eddie got involved, knew they were massive, made them turn professional, get professional boxing licenses, and then they fought in basically a professional fight. But that was kind of, I don't know when you say disrespectful, degrading towards professional boxers. And I put that out, but it was more meaning like people saying, you're just jealous because they're earning fortunes. Like, mate, they're not taking no money off us. It's nothing to do with earning fortunes because they pay for themselves. They are massive stars in what they do. So, you know, I was not fully clued up on YouTubers at the time. I don't know what a YouTuber was. But they were big in their own thing, generated all their own fans and generated their own money.
That's the thing, though, you criticize, you get called jealous, and it's not.
They could have fought in a fantasy matchup, KSI against Logan Paul. No one was bothered that it was a professional boxing fight or a white collar fight. They still would have sold out that arena. They still would have, people tuned in, no matter what, but they labelled it as a professional boxing fight.
Does that mean you getting like a, I don't know if there is such a thing, but like professional snooker license, having a game of snooker and call them ourselves professional snooker players, we're not. But like, it is a bit disrespectful to professional snooker players.
So we're all like the Misfit stuff and that, right? Anyone, especially more so people with a big following, because obviously they've got fans, they've got people who look up to them and stuff like that. Anyone who puts the reputation on the line and gets in the ring and has a fight will always have my respect. In terms of, I know boxing inside out, and I know it's brutal, and the reason why, as we touched on, I get so nervous watching these is because it's unknown. I don't know whether they're going to, I'm hoping they win, and I've seen them prepare, so I think they'll win. But you could still get absolutely your lucky turned off any second of the fight, and you could be asleep. And I've seen it happen that many times in boxing. The unknown is what keeps you glued to it as a fan, but also keeps you terrified when it's someone you love in there. So anyone who does that will always have my respect. The thing what I don't like, and it bugs me and bothers me, is say like you have, for example, like an MMA fighter's gone and he's now in Misfits in the boxing, and he chins another MMA fighter, and then when you then call like comparing him to professional fighters, if I was to go and get another boxer and to get an MMA cage and have an MMA fight with him and choke him out or whatever, and then start to call people from UFC, I'd probably get laughed at. And I don't like that in terms of it's a little bit disrespectful to boxers. It's really. That's the only thing what I don't like. I think, come on, show the respect. I wouldn't dare get in a cage, have a fight with another boxer who's not an MMA fighter, beat him in MMA and then start going, I beat anyone in the UFC. I'd probably get laughed at. And I don't like that, and it's disrespecting. That's the only thing that annoys me.
With your industry as well, though, it's like, it must frustrate you when you see someone, not like Conor McGregor, I'm not going to use him as an example, but he's just started in Roadhouse. And they bypass all the graft, all the hard work, everything else, and not pay the dues and jump in. It's a little bit similar in this, but you've got young, good, hungry pros who are working their asses off, like we've all just said, and they're not really getting that opportunity, and then someone from a different industry will come in.
And they're not even getting a fraction of what they're getting, and that's what's unfair about it.
Yeah. But that comes with again, the following, the reputation, you know, the people followers. It's a lot more daunting for someone who's got millions of followers and fans and people who love them to get in the ring because they're putting the reputation on the line, and someone no one knows anyway just to jump in. And that's it. Although you're both in a fight, there's a lot more pressure on your shoulders of these followers. That's why anyone who's doing it, all the Misfits, like the former MMA fighters and all this, who are getting in, I always have my respect, fair play to them, but I think it's its own market, and let it grow and let it be what it is. Do you know what I mean? And it's good to watch. I like watching it. So the Joey Essex fight, I was glued to it. It was brilliant to watch.
20 years from now, looking back on what you did, what would you like to be there written, what you've done? Would you like to win? You said you're not interested in the awards and everything else. Would you like a few movies? Would you like more gritty dramas? Would you like to play different types of characters?
I want to play Georgie Best.
Do you?
Yeah.
That'd be unbelievable.
Because, you know, everyone knows the story of him and all that, but I watched this documentary on him, and it was like, I think he retired in 67, so people didn't talk about mental health and all that back then. And he goes in this interview, like, the reason why I came to Portugal was because I walked into Heathrow Airport. He said, and I saw the first flight was Lisbon. He said, and I came out here, he said, because when I was a kid, all I wanted to be was a footballer. He said, and while I was a footballer, all I wanted to be was famous. He said, now I've had I can't play football now, ripped away from me. He's like, that's all I want to be again, and I can't handle the fact that, like, I just fucked it. Like, and I could have done a lot more. And I just think, you know, probably your first famous footballer, really, celebrity. He was Beckham before Beckham, wasn't he, and all that.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks of Georgie Best, they think of the Ale first, don't they, and the Miss Worlds and all that. But there's, like, you know, when United signed him as a kid, he was living with this R1, him and his mate. And they put you in digs, don't they? He fucked off back to Ireland. He couldn't handle it. He couldn't wait being away from his man. And it was his best mate that helped him through and all that. Like, the story's incredible.
Yeah. Well, it probably didn't get spoken about at all back then, did it? It's the same in probably every walk of life back then, especially in boxing. It was just that harder people, probably less ability nowadays. I say the football back then, like, could Messi and Ronaldo have played at a time when Pele and Maradona were playing on pitches like that, with balls like that, with tackles flying like that, with the game being the way it was, and that's probably the comparison between ages. But as nowadays, that had been dealt with, wouldn't it, by someone at the club or some liaison somewhere in the club.
It's hard, but it's the same in terms of boxing. When you had your Sugar Ray Robinsons and you were fighting like twice a month and stuff, and you look at the fighters in our generation and every other fighter having hands operations and stuff like that, and like men seem just different, just tougher back then, where they were out working in the day and then they were in the gym of an evening, and it wasn't like the be all and ends all to them, but they had a lot more fights and just seemed to
It's the things about boxing now where, like, you know, you have lived it all your life. It's the things now where you just go, this is sneaking in and I don't like it, and it's kind of like turning you not away from the sport, but...
There's a load of people in boxing now who aren't boxing people, if that makes sense. Like, I remember being out boxing, like Paul turned pro in 2003, I was 12, 13, and it was all proper boxing people, like the trainers, the promoters were all like, been around for years, whereas now, like, no one in particular, but like promoters, managers, TV pundits, advisors, and like, none of them have fought, and whereas like, you wouldn't turn your telly on in 5 years' time and see me on Match of the Day giving me opinion on professional football. Every sport you turn on, and then it goes to like the experts. They're all ex in that sport, and I think boxing's the only sport now where it's just...
I know what you mean by that, obviously.
I think the boxing's the only sport where you take opinion, like, no, even like my last fight, Boatti, like Chris Mannix had the fight to draw. Yeah. And like, he paid to give his opinion, and the commentators was like Barry Jones, former world champion, Darren Barker, former world champion, and at the end of the round, so let's get our scorecard off Chris Mannix, who's never fought. I'm thinking, why? I want your scorecard, ex-fighter, former world champion, not some fella who's never fought. And I think no other sport you get it, do you know what I mean?
Put it into perspective. You want to start playing golf. These two golf geeks love the golf. You want to start playing golf and work on your swing, and you go to the golf centre to get a lesson. The person giving you lessons never swung a club. It's just it's a bit backwards.
I sat at bench along, and obviously because he had Sky Sports and Box at the time, and basically I was sitting there thinking, I know more, how am I sitting here with you? I know more about this game than you. You've been in boxing 5 minutes. I've been professional 15 years.
And he's dictating people's lives.
And you're
that's what's wrong about it.
And that's just where people are keeping. Now we know it's got to move with the time. We're getting old. I've been pro 15 years, so new faces are going to come in, but we are just used to the Frank Warren, Barry Hearn, Eddie Hearn, and then obviously you're American.
Can I tell you my gripe with it then?
Faces, but
my gripe with it, I don't want to sound like the Al Roy Keane, but my one is these physios and nutritionists on photos in the ring after fights. Sorry, but
wash bags and that.
The Al fight, and then you have the fight, you get in the ring, and then you can't get in the ring with you, but there's 50 people on the photo, and there's the social media managers on the end, and the sponsorship managers on the team. Yeah, I get it, but team, like, room in the dressing room, we need room. We've got to warm up, otherwise the fight doesn't happen.
That's all it for me. Like, you watch the Masters in golf, and the people commentating and the people in the studio are ex-golfers, probably people who've won it before and stuff, and I can name many other sports. I don't watch rugby, but I can imagine if you watch a rugby game, the pundits would be ex-rugby players. I think boxing's the only sport where people who you can get into the sport at a higher level without having any form of experience or background.
Billy Graham said it the best, it's the easiest sport in the world to infiltrate. And he had a saying, and the saying's true, and it was, you can put a parrot in the corner of a top gym with top trainers in, and the parrot will start talking in the best lines, it'll start using the best terms and the best boxing anecdotes, it'll start giving you the best sayings, but you wouldn't trust the fucker in the corner with you. And it's so true, and there's a lot of parrots in boxing. Well, I'm not slagging, I get the worst for it on Twitter, and I'm arguing left, right, centre on there, and they're like, oh yeah, my opinion doesn't matter because I haven't boxed. No, your opinion's fine. I love films. I'll talk about films with anyone, but if I'm talking to you and you tell me how something's going, I'm butting and not listening. You're the expert, you know, and like the same with football, same with us, but the boxing, you say something, nah, it's not.
But that's the other problem, isn't it? Half of them wouldn't even say it to your face, the majority of them would never say it to your face.
Slated, there's so many armchair fans, and they give you a stick where, I remember listening to a really good friend of all of ours, David Price, and he burst through. He was knocking everyone out, and he was like the big great white hope, and everyone loved him. He's the next Lennox Lewis and all this. And he had a bad night, and look, you know, you're more than entitled to have a bad night in any walk of life. And he lost, and the stick he got on social media and stuff was embarrassing. Loveliest lad you'll ever meet. I absolutely love David, and the people giving him stick, he's this and he's this, and so reading, just looking, thinking, like, he's 6'9", he's knocking everyone out. If he walked in a room, there's not a chance on this earth you'd say a boo to his face. You know what I mean? He's open-handed, smack you and put you to sleep type of thing. He's just a big, gentle giant, but no, lovely lad, but could certainly look after himself. And people are giving him stick left, and like he was getting it on that social media. And that opened my eyes to sort of the fickle sport we're in anyway. Do you know what I mean? You can be brilliant, amazing. You have one bad night and you just shite. No,
the same in your industry with critics though, innit? Yeah. It's probably not the public in your industry, it's probably the critics, innit?
Because they can't do it themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I remember sitting talking to Paul, and I remember, you should watch out for, do you know what I mean? And I remember him going to me, watch out for Lomachenko, watch how he is and all that. Like, you'll never see a boxer like it. And I remember going away as a kid and going, oh yeah, and I remember you telling me about Golovkin and all that. Like, who is the next one coming through, like, that you enjoy watching, that's, you know?
I personally love Shakur Stevenson. I know he's not coming through, he's there. I love watching him fight.
It's hard though, because they're already world champions, so you say coming through, but he's on Saturday. Bam Rodriguez is, and he's only 20 odd, he's world champion, but he's only 23, 24, but he's just great to watch. Little, what we were saying before, doesn't look like,
He's not there.
Unbelievable.
There's a lot of talk about Abdullah Mason as well.
He looks like, some of them look like the special where the Yanks have got like really fast hands, and you look at them and you're sort of like, wow. But I think when we touched on Lomachenko come through, and he just, because his feet were that good, he had a style. And I think you're an unbelievable fighter when you have your own style, where there's a certain style in the gym and you relate it back to a fighter. Like, anyone strong moves that are quick, everyone goes Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? Anyone now with fast feet, they all go Lomachenko. Do you know what I mean? Anyone sort of like who can take off a style, like anyone drops their hands and starts looking, you go Naz. You know what I mean? Anyone like that, where they become iconic for the style, I think they're the sort of generational ones where you know them right away.
Who did you like growing up boxing wise?
Tyson. I remember getting up watching Tyson on cable with me half fella. Like, we used to get up and watch it.
Tyson's a lot, Tyson's a lot of people's, isn't he? Not many who didn't like him.
I love Tyson as well.
He was, honestly, I probably liked him a bit too much as a kid. I just loved everything about him, how he fought. Not the stuff he did outside, but we didn't really see none of that, did we, back over here? No internet and not on them. We just seen the odd papers where they had the odd fight here today with Mitch Green or someone, but watching him fight, I've never seen anything like him still, and I don't think we ever will. And I'm not happy as in, most of the time I've failed. I've got nothing against him whatsoever. I like him, but I'm happy Mike Tyson's record's still there, and I don't think it will be broken. I don't think anyone will be that young in the heavyweight division to win a world title, and it's a bit easier now. It was 4, it was 3 at the time. If it was, it probably would have been.
He's unbelievable.
That's why it's the only reason why I'm happy.
Do you know the way now as well?
He's a good lad.
Production, and it's about the show now, and Naz was probably like a big part of it, but it's all about like entrances now and ring walk music. And us as fighters, you think about like, my ring walk song and whatever else. Your kit, what your kit's gonna be, your kit design. But Mike Tyson, when you think about it, even though like it's part of the show, he used to just walk the ring, no music on, silence,
no socks, no rolls,
black shorts on, not a sponsor on his short.
We've all challenged for belts, so when you're the challenger, you're in the ring first, and you're listening to your opponent's music coming on, and they're walking the ring. I remember my first title fight, I boxed John Simpson in Glasgow, and I was getting booed. He was from Glasgow, so I was getting booed, and then I got in the ring, I'm looking out and I see my brothers, so I'm just winking at them going, don't worry, they can't help him, you know what I mean? But then as music come on, I remember, watch this, not a James song, belter song, and I was in the ring thinking, it's a tune this, to be fair, and the atmosphere was boss. But I enjoyed his ring, I was confident, so I enjoyed his ring walk. Imagine you've got Mike Tyson, known as the baddest man on the planet, he's absolutely putting everyone to sleep. And no music comes on, you're standing, you can just see a crowd moving as he's walking the ring.
He's intimidating,
But that's the same, Frank Bruno so blessed himself something like 100 times, something like that.
Ben's was boss, because the tunes, the laugh at his dad. Like I say, even though 50 Cent was shite, but it was just mad seeing 50 Cent just march in the ring, Eubank, do you know what I mean? Yeah, it was funny, that one, like.
Just imagine that being stood in the ring now and this crowd's moving and he's walking in. Mike Tyson with a white robe on, he just flicks it over his head.
Right, James,
let's go.
soccer aid. What was soccer aid like?
Boss. Like, 'cause I wanted to be a footballer growing up.
Is there any chance of getting in the call because he's dying to go on it?
But I played at Southampton
Owen's
the
gonna
week
get me on
before, and I'd done me groin, and I was like, oh no, I can't miss out on this, you know, like Chiellini's playing, and you know, Wayne and everyone, do you know what I mean? Legends, you get to live your dream. And I got there, and like, this is like one of those pinch yourself moments. Joe Hart was in goal, you know, he played for England, won the league, you know, and I was just passing it with my left foot, and he goes, lad, you're all right, you know, and I was like, it's like, what?
You know.
Is it? Yeah, I was like, I'm only playing with my left foot. Anyway, I told him I was injured, and he took me in the changes after it, and they have physios and the whole setup, the lot. And I'm lying there, and I went, yeah, it's bit. You've got a grade 2 tear, we advise you not to play. And I was like, there's no way I'm not fucking playing. That's just not happening. You know what I mean? I'm
Like an audition for Georgie Best.
yeah. But it was
Horrible, them grade 2 tears, aren't they? I had one. But no, I always said about, like, not even so much the game, the week to it.
leading up to
I'd
it.
love to be involved in that, you know what I mean? Just
Even overnight, like, so you train, and you'd have Harry Redknapp stood there, you know.
remember seeing the pen things they done from belt to your pen.
But it was, the best part of it really was, like, the night, in the night time, like, you know, you're there with, like, I don't know, Robbie Keane, Chiellini, like, all these superstars. That's what I mean. And you just have to crack with them, and they're just normal fellas. And then you've got a couple of YouTubers who are being a bit cheeky and getting stuck, and then they're getting put in a place, you know what I mean? And it's a boss
See the way he's saying that, right? My ass would go. I would fight anyone in front of any crowd, but you put me on a football pitch, fish out of water. Yeah, we had a little charity game at Goodison, didn't we? Liverpool against Everton on our team. We were Liverpool. We had John Barnes. We had all kinds of Robbie Fowler and everyone else. And listen, Alan Kennedy there killed him because he was terrible.
Yeah. But I laughed because it was a charity game and he was raging. He was probably competitive.
Because they want to win, don't they? They want to win.
I remember standing there. I was playing up front with Ian Rush or Robbie Fowler or someone. And I remember Ryan Lowe passing the ball, going, go on, Smeg, have a little run. I was like, fuck off, pass it right back.
What score was the game?
I can't remember, Liam. I can't remember what happened to me dinner yesterday, never mind.
1-0. Wait there a minute. No, we ain't in. Yeah, it was, I can't remember who it was for them. Yeah. I remember getting the ball, right? And again, this just all crowd.
Your ass goes, doesn't it? Your ass goes.
Boxed at Goodison Park. Didn't have as much nerves as what I did playing footy in a charity game. And I remember gives it to Fowler, and he just gives me a straight back like a little 1-2. And I was like, oh my God, I've played the 1-2, Robbie Fowler. And I think I just like ran the ball out. No, I went that much thinking, oh my God, it's Robbie Fowler. Just give it to me, give me a straight back. Carried on running, and I was just thinking, I don't know what I've done with the ball, but I must have just lost it. Because I'm thinking in my head, played the 1-2 with Robbie Fowler, know what I mean? My head fell off. Honest, unbelievable.
What, have you? So, but I know I was joking then, but I'm nervous was you going on the picture half time with your belt?
Yeah, very.
One of the games.
Yeah, no, you know the one thing that stuck in my mind, I'm a weirdo, but the one thing that stuck in my mind was the smell of the pitch, the grass, like the smell when you're down there, and how cold it is through your feet, through your shoes, you've got to wear something nice when you're on the pitch. The woman who was standing waiting for me to announce going on, I said, I'm proper shitting myself. He said, really? She said, you're boxing in front of thousands of people? I said, no, I could go and box right in the centre right now. We're going on now, just all going on, it's like, don't know, it's like, just dead awkward. Like, oh, everyone's looking at me, everyone's saying when you box, but you like blank it out between your adrenaline, that whereas, you go, everyone's looking at me.
So I went on the pitch after I won me and Pricey won the Commonwealth Games. No, me and Pricey went on, and he went like, we've had 2 gold medals in the City Commonwealth Games, Stephen Smith and David Price. So like, I was with him, and like, me and David, like little and large anyway, so we're laughing anyway, walking out together. So I'm just laughing, we had a laugh with him, and it was all right, just putting our hands up, getting like the applause, and I loved it. But going on my own probably was feeling well worse. Like, well, because
you're thinking in your head, aren't you? What if I fall over here, or what if everyone's gone in for a pint at half time or something? You know what I mean?
Get off TV.
Once you're in your comfort zone, that's what you can do. And to other people, it's alien. And the thought of acting in a scene with someone like Stephen Graham or a top actor or one of the Ollie, you're thinking like, how can you do that? But then to you, it's your bread and butter. And to you, thinking about doing a spar or a fight in a gym with 10 people in there, or never mind an arena. That's why it's sort of, that's what makes the industry special and the specialists at them special.
I think I'd be like, I was doing a scene with like a De Niro or something. I'd be a bit like intimidated, thinking he thinks I'm shit.
But then do you know what it is though? And this is like the likes of Stephen and Sean Bean and all this. like, you know, I'm going, oh, fucking hell, I've admired him all my life, you know what I mean? Like, he's an inspiration. And what's amazing about them, and I talk about ego, is the ease you go, do you want to run the lines? Is there any, you know, tell me about your martyr, what does your dad do for a living and all that. And you get into a rhythm, and I think it's
By
like...
the time did you say action, it's like...
Again, talking about my acting thing, right? It was when he was on. To add to that, Stephen Graham, there was a day we were filming in court, and these were all in the box, and there was a proper serious scene. And I think Rhys Jones' dad was in as well. Yeah. Stephen Graham stopped everything. He was the star, stopped everything. He wasn't the director, he wasn't in charge. Had a word with everyone, you need to be professional here. There's actors here really trying the best. You need to keep the noise down, you keep the noise down, we need to keep this energy here for these actors, give them the respect they deserve and all that. Stopped, everyone just went quiet straight away. The director started rolling, these could do what they did best, everyone else was just sitting watching these. But when things were getting out of hand, like he was there to just sort of put, he wasn't thinking about him, he wasn't really speaking. It was yous and he was doing it for them, fighting for them, and there's so many young kids like yourself who come through.
Look at
Paddy Rowan's flying. Yeah. Paddy's
I was going to try and bring that to sort of in our world in the boxing, right? And we've all been there. You can come across a sort of, when we sparred with world champions, when we were kids coming through. Yeah. I remember being a kid who was still amateur sparring, like Peter Coshaw at the time, and thinking, wow, but you have some really, really tough fighters, and they'll help you out in sparring. You give you a little clip and then like, keep your hands up, lad, and you hear them and you think, oh yeah, I've got to make sure to do this. And some of them are amazing for sparring with bringing people on. Whereas you get a lot of arseholes.
You don't want to open it, help you.
Their mates are there, so they think, yeah, watch this, and they start like trying to drop kids and that, know what I mean? I don't like that myself, even now I'm coaching. Yeah. I don't like seeing anyone getting hit in sparring. But I think sparring's about practice, but you get some really good fighters who know they're a level above, who will help kids out and touch them a bit and say, you know, come on. We were laughing about it, we were saying about what times I've hit him with a body shot and he go, and I've spoke to them and said, carry on, I'll just touch the head, stay up, and I keep them up, but make sure they learn a bit of adversity to get them through it and bite down and fight through it and help them out with it. But you do get some idiots who'll go for the kill. So where you're saying here, you get some really good actors who'll give you the touch and say, look, you do get that in boxing, you get some who will help you out, but you'd also get the other end, you just need to know who's who.
And it's all about ego, isn't it? Like,
that's what it is.
Stephen's got nothing to prove, you know, like. Yous have got nothing to prove, you don't need to fucking go in there and take me and fucking hit me with a body shot. You know what you do anyway. You know what I mean? You'd either teach me, wouldn't you? And that's...
You can learn the hard way though. Good. Same fella he's talking about, Peter Coshaw, when I was younger, great fighter, good lad, and he used to come down to gym sparring with the amateurs, and we'd all do like a minute or two each, or a minute each, and he'd do a 3-minute round, so we'd have 3 different kids in. And the young amateurs, because he was only a flyweight, I think, at the time. Fly. So I remember getting in with him once, I remember catching him with a lovely body shot. I was good at throwing body shots when I was a kid. I used to always watch Andy Oliver and Chavez and all the body punches, and used to throw a nice body shot, and I caught him, and he's gone like onto the bottom ropes, and then he's gone like good shot, and I remember thinking, yeah, like world champion. Next round, I'm spewing up all over the middle of the floor where he's done me with a body shot, and it was just a liberty to say, like,
it was a liberty.
Behave yourself now, lad. No, never took a liberty in a spar again since. I was only 15 at the time, and like I was literally just on my knees, riding in agony, where I just thought, what the fuck was that? And it was just a little lesson learned, and then you learn them lessons as you go on. And anyone like you ever hurt in sparring, like you've got to, it's not a fight, so take a little step back, touch the glove, carry on at the jab. And I remember watching our Paul do it. He caught a kid with a body shot, he tried to close the show. I had to pull him aside at the end and said, lad, don't ever do that again, mate. Like, it's sparring.
Sometimes, isn't it? Yeah.
But he's just sort of fight mentality, thinking that's what you do, because the kid wasn't from his gym. No. But you've got to sort of walk them through it. Don't go back to body again, jab.
I've never been so happy. I've never been so happy, and I shouldn't have been happy. But Callum was sparring a kid in the gym, and they fell. Callum tipped over, fell to the ropes.
No, Sunday.
Yeah.
No, when you're sparring, if I've like sort of threw a shot and I've gone over his head, you go, oh boy, you touch gloves, you
start waiting to get back in the... Callum fell through the ropes, and a kid's turned and tried to belt us. He went
by the way, he's probably put more people asleep in sparring than probably all of us.
Accidentally.
Just accidentally.
And then he's gone for him a bit after it. So, the end of the round, I believe the kid's coach said to him, you just woke the beast up there or something. And then obviously he knew, next round, bang, flattened the kids. But I was like,
you've been taught a lesson there.
Yeah, you deserve that for trying that.
Trying to take a liberty in
it. Shouldn't be like that.
That's the saying, don't push the horses.
Don't push the horses.
I remember when I first got on GB, I was 19, and the people I was on there were the people who were on his team, do you know what I mean? So like Danny Price, Cal Yafai, Bradley Saunders, and I remember just thinking like, I shouldn't be here. I'm like, it took me months to like train and thinking, oh, I do deserve to be here. I'm as good as them dream. Whereas I remember at the start thinking like, oh, now like I've grew up watching these within, and obviously my older brother's house had him on like a pedestal, and I'm thinking like, I'm not good enough to be here with these. Did you ever get that like?
I had that when I went to drama school.
Did you?
Because like, you know, you go to drama school and most of the kids there are, you know, middle class, come from a bit of dough, you know, and I'd be the one who'd like, you know, go up last or be scared to say anything in case I look thick, you know what I mean? And then, as you know, you make your mates and that, don't you? And I remember the first night, I remember thinking, I'm going back to Liverpool. I can't do this. I can't do it. I'm not as good as these. Yeah, I was in London, you know, and I was working weekends and, you know, bar jobs and all that.
So how old was you?
I was 21 when I went to drama school.
21, yeah.
Yeah. But that's the only way I could get an agent because, you know, not many theatres open up here, not many films made in Liverpool or the Northwest. Yeah. And now you look at it, now everything's getting made here. Yeah. It's great for young kids.
Is it, you know, is Liverpool, is the like,
for the young actor, Liverpool now, is it good up here?
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, you got told, didn't you? Like Ian will tell you, you had to live in London for the auditions and for this, and you had to move there. Well now, you know, you've got me living here, Darcy, you know, all these Scouse actors.
Paddy and Paddy Rowan and Bobby and they're doing a Zope acting class and Zope acting school, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think it's brilliant because it's giving, you know, kids an opportunity, and even if it's something you're toying with the idea with, you can go, oh, well, I can go and see if I do like it or not. Yeah.
That's the thing, though. If I want to set up, I'm having a laugh and joke about it. If I ever want to be an actor, how do you know you can do it? If you want to be an actor, how do you know you can do it? You don't know until you try, but when you try, you've got to go somewhere. Yeah. To actually see if you can do it rather than trying to do a self-tape in the house on your phone or something. If you're around, but if you're around the people, I'm seriously though, if you're around people and then all of a sudden you just get lines put in front of you and you've got to then act them out, you go to bits. I've never ever in my life done karaoke. And you'll never get me on a karaoke. Yeah. He will. He loves our Mr. Brightside, blasts it out.
I smell meanly.
Yeah. Beast aftershave.
Surround my face with class.
Like imagine, like Callum would never ever do a karaoke in his life as long as he lives. So asking him to sit to read lines out, it's a bit daunting, you know what I mean?
How are your accents?
I'm alright, like.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing is like, you need the time. So, you know, some people can listen to it. Like, have you seen 1,000 Blows?
No, I haven't watched it.
Like, I'm surprised you haven't watched that, because that's a true story.
I've never watched
And like the Cockney accent, and it's me and Stephen playing brothers.
We're too busy on Call of Duty every night, mate.
I think you should like it, because it's about brothers.
I put the first one on and fell asleep, mate. Yeah, I put the first one on and fell asleep. And then I remember getting it mixed up with... no, I was not putting it on. No, but I remember even when it started, I got mixed up with... There was another one, another Stephen Graham one at the time.
Oh, I know.
And I forget that, and I thought it was that. I put films on to fall asleep to. That's what I do. I put a film on, I've seen a million times.
No, mine's Friends or something like that.
I watch Adam Sandler films most nights, just put one on.
Your accent, I think that's a talent, like.
Yeah, it is. But it's like anything, if you put the work in, you can do it, you know what I mean?
Any come up where you've got to do an accent?
Well, I've got 1,000 Blows season 2 coming out in January. And then there's one in the pipeline.
Well, you might have to do an accent, yeah. You just open for the Belfast one?
Yeah.
Georgie
That's the big one.
Yeah. Great Belfast accent.
So he does.
Would you have a go with the acting?
Love to.
No, I couldn't.
Couldn't?
I'd love to. The same way I'd love to be a singer, but I couldn't. Yeah. Know what I mean? I'd love to, but I couldn't. Me.
I'll tell you straight, I'm actively searching now. So
yeah. This city is hard then.
Yeah, it'd be amazing to do, but as he said before, I just wouldn't know whether you'd be any good at it. You like to think you're delusional, you think you'd be good at everything.
But you'd have to throw yourself in at the deep end, don't you?
Yeah, you'd have to try it.
You've got a little routine like Johnny Drama, psych yourself up before you go on.
That. I just listen to music before I go on to chill me out.
Any superstitions?
No, not like that. Just listen to music and then just fly through. I don't,
No, honestly, I'm deadly serious about it. The only way you're going to know and going to find out is by going to do it. Yeah. And go to do it and you'd absolutely buzz off it. I never told anyone.
I know I couldn't, though, even just like parts where like, I don't know, I'd see something, thinking, oh, if I sound like I'd sit, I'd laugh after it. And I know I couldn't, I'd love to be able to.
And you could, I'm not sounding cheesy, when you're like it or not, you're a performer.
Yeah.
You get in the ring and you perform for people and you put a show on for people, whether you like it or not. You're competing at a sport, obviously, but even your interviews, the way you are. To be fair with us though, I see so many people in this boxing, and I'm not praising us and slagging them, but I see so many people in boxing doing interviews and I think, that's not the person I know.
No, I know, yeah.
And it's a character, it's an actor. They're doing it whether they know it or not. We don't, to be fair, but being a performer, being in the ring, whether you like it or not, it's an art, it's a craft, it's a sport. You're performing, whether you like it or not. You'd probably find it. Who's the boxer done it? Gary Stretch, wasn't he? He's one of the most famous ones who went into it. There's a lot. Scott Welch was in Snatch. You know, he was on the show recently with his son in London. There's loads that have gone into it, and that's what I said.
And look at it the other way around as well. Mickey Rourke going into, you know,
He's our mate, Mickey,
boss fella.
He come in the changes. I boxed in Phoenix and I
Arizona,
remember the changes. You put a picture up today.
Arizona, yeah. I put a picture of my dad was with him.
Yeah, fucking funny, yeah.
Yeah, he did it. He went in the wild card with Freddie Hutch. We were in the wild card with Freddie Hutch, speaking of acting and that. And we're laughing, weren't we, Callum, because of the entourage and two of the actors out of entourage are in there, Turtle, and I think it was Jeremy Piven or someone else. And Freddie was like, he plays Harry Gold, but I know the real Harry Gold, and he plays Turtle, and I've met the real Turtle as well. There's loads of actors in the wild cards who go in and just train every day. Cuba Gooding Jr. training. Yeah. There's a picture of Cuba Gooding Jr. doing the rounds with the Elizabeth t-shirt. I give him that role that time.
You're not allowed to film any sparring in the wild card, like literally round after round. There's not a round that goes by in the wild card where someone's not sparring. It's just bum, 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 bum. And I'm standing there and Cuba Gooding Jr. comes over and goes, do me a favour, film me spar. So I'm like, Cuba Gooding Jr. We grew up watching Gladiator, the boxing film, where he's Abraham Lincoln, and he's unbelievable.
Lincoln and Tommy Daly.
We watched that all the time as kids, unbelievable film. And I'm like, wow, he's asked me to video sparring. So next minute he gets in, and I've got my phone there, and one of the fellas at the desk goes, hey! So I was like, what? And he went, phone away. And I went, he's asked me to, and he went, it's you? And he went, yeah, yeah. Ah, cool, man. Standing like that.
We asked him about that. And I loved his answer. We asked him, like, why are you sparring? He said, I go in and I'd rather pay that cruiserweight $50, whatever it might have been at the time, to spar me, because I'll get more out of 4 rounds with him than I will with a PT doing 8 to 10 rounds on the mitts. That's what he was saying at the time. And it made loads of sense. And I always laughed and used to say, if you ever want to box, if you ever want to experience it, get in with one of us, get in with someone who knows what they're doing. They won't hurt you. They'll catch you with any shot and not hurt you with it anyway. They'll walk you through it. They'll guide you through it, and they know what they're doing. It's when two non-boxers get in with each other, that's when the problems get. That's when the problems get.
Ego thing knows well.
There's no ego with you with a pro when you get in. They're walking you through it, so you get more out of it. But I was buzzing seeing him in the gym, Cuba Gooding Jr., because in that film, the style was great, wasn't it? He has a brilliant style in that film. In Gladiator. It's a good film, Gladiator 1992, I think it is. It's a boss film.
So, Joyce, really appreciate your time, mate. And we just want to wrap up this episode and just say thank you, really.
Thanks for having me.
No, honestly, really appreciate it, mate.
Thanks for coming in.
Come on, mate.